Kerosene is filling that second stage. We're anticipating a little longer for that first stage to be completely filled with that RP1 refined kerosene. Liquid oxygen will continue to flow through the first and second stages up until the final few minutes before launch. That next call will be that the stage 1 RP load is complete, coming up now in about 15 seconds.
Stage 1
we'll
RP1
stand by
load
for that
complete.
call now. And confirmation, we have a complete fill of RP1 on the first stage. Now the first and second stage are completely filled with that RP1 kerosene. Now just under 6 minutes to launch until that instantaneous launch window today. The next milestone will be for Dragon to transition to configure for terminal count, and that's when Dragon's onboard computers will take control of the vehicle, and Dragon will be on internal power, no longer relying on those lines from the ground. From there, Falcon 9 tanks will pressurize for strong back retract. That'll be another visual milestone. The clamps just below Dragon's trunk will open and the strong back will tilt back just 2 degrees, then right after liftoff back to 45 degrees. Again, RP1 kerosene filled on both the first and second stages. Liquid oxygen continues to flow through on the first and second stages. Standing by now for that call that Dragon has transitioned into terminal count.
Dragon isn't configured for terminal count.
Falcon 9 propellant tanks are pressurizing for strong back retract.
All right, John, some good calls. Dragon is now on internal power, and Falcon 9 propellant tanks are pressurizing for strong back retract.
Yes, thanks, Courtney. What we're waiting here now is the call out for strong back is retracting. This will be a 2-step process. First, we'll spend about half a minute opening up the arms that clamp around the second stage. And there's the call out that the sequence has begun. So we'll slowly open up the arms around the second stage. We might get a view if we've got a close-up of the camera. Then once the arms are open, the strong back alongside Falcon 9 will retract about 2 degrees away from the rocket. It'll stay there all the way through liftoff, and then as Courtney mentioned, at liftoff, hydraulics will then pull it down to about a 45-degree position above ground, and that'll give us the final clearance. It's that strong back right now that is providing the liquids, the gas connections, the electrical connections to the launch vehicle, especially the second stage. We're hearing some of the venting of the vehicle as we are pressurizing and depressurizing at various steps. As we get ready, you'll see a burst of depressurization there on the second stage.
That's right, John. We're also anxiously awaiting the stage 1 liquid oxygen is complete on the first stage. You should hear that call coming up here shortly.
Stage 1 LOX load complete.
And confirmation that the stage 1 LOX load is complete.
Right now, LOX is going to continue loading on second stage.
Dragon
That'll wrap up
count
at T-minus 2
power.
minutes. Dragon's gone internal power. Now again, at T-minus 2 minutes, we'll finish liquid oxygen loading. And then a typical event, we will drain the propellant lines that go along the strong back, and we'll typically get a large cloud of condensation at about 90 seconds before launch as we see the propellants come back down off of the strong back to prepare for liftoff.
Stage 2 LOX load complete. Dragon is in auto idle.
All right, Falcon 9. With that, Falcon 9 is fully fueled. We have fuel on both the first and second stages,
Gas
and
closeouts
both
is about
stages
to
are
begin.
filled with
Expect
liquid,
loud venting.
oxygen. Dragon is also in auto idle. The flight computers on board Dragon maintaining their calculations, standing by for the T-0 mark. That next call out will be that Dragon is in countdown. Standing by now for that call.
FTS is armed, Falcon 9 is in startup, and is now controlling. Dragon is in countdown.
All right, the final minute before launch. Just 47 seconds to go. Everything is
Dragon,
ready for an
SpaceX,
on-time launch today.
Go for launch.
Endurance copies, go for launch.
Ground teams are ready, and Crew 3 is ready for liftoff, heading for that
Minus 30
instantaneous
seconds.
launch window. "20 seconds to liftoff.
Minus 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. And liftoff. God. 3.
Copy,
one Alpha.
Laboratory in orbit, the International Space Station. Vehicle is pitching downrange.
Stage 1, propulsion is nominal.
And that's the call we want to hear. Good performance on that first stage so far.
T plus 30 seconds. Falcon 9 powered by 9 Merlin 1Ds. Pushing Dragon into low Earth orbit on the way to the International Space Station.
Power and telemetry nominal. Stage 1, throttle down.
And we're into the throttle duct in preparation from XQ. Getting ready to throttle the engines back up.
Stage 1, throttle up. Execute.
Stage 1 Bravo.
Copy,
All
1
right, that
Bravo.
1 Bravo call is for the second stage abort mode on the first stage. That is going to take them through the first stage, burning just before the second stage activates off the coast of North Carolina. That next milestone coming up shortly will be MVAC chill underway.
MVAC chill underway.
There's the call out. We're getting the second stage engine turbo pumps ready for their ignition coming up in just a little more than 40 seconds. We've got the major vents coming up here shortly. We're going to get main engine cutoff at 2 minutes 36 seconds. The stages will separate, then the second stage will ignite, carrying Dragon on its way into low Earth orbit. Everything continues to look good.
Stage 1, throttle down.
Stage 1 throttling down at 3.5 Gs. Getting ready for MECO.
MECO. Stage separation.
Stage 2 Alpha.
Copy, 2 Alpha.
All right, we have ignition of the second stage. And you saw that green flash
Good,
of that
ignition.
TTEB fluid. And Crew 3 is now on their way to the International Space Station.
On the left side, first stage, you can see the titanium grid fence coming out, the streaks of the exhaust of the second stage engine going by. And the lights of Florida down in the background.
Acquisition signal.
That's right, and on your right, that second stage glowing. With that red color we like to see, indicating everything is proceeding well. Now 3 minutes and 40 seconds into flight, everything's still on track.
Acquisition is signal Bermuda.
Dragon SpaceX, trajectory
And that
nominal.
That call out of acquisition of
Endurance
signal
copy.
Bermuda, that just means the Bermuda ground station has the signals from the second stage of Dragon and Falcon 9.
Now, currently on the first stage, we are coasting to apogee, beginning a slow 180-degree pitch, so that when the vehicle comes back through the atmosphere, the engines are pointed down towards the drone ship when we do the relight. Relight for the entry burn will come at T plus 7 minutes and 30 seconds, 3 minutes from now. Currently, the first stage about 166 kilometers up, continuing to coast to apogee for another brief period.
Meanwhile, that second stage still propelling the Crew 3 astronauts up the eastern seaboard, and it will continue to fire. That's about a 6-minute burn to deliver the astronauts into orbit.
Dragon SpaceX, trajectory nominal.
Endurance copies.
And a good call out from the ground teams.
I always love to hear trajectory nominal, and the crew gets to hear it too on the call up.
Acquisition signal New Hampshire.
And the New Hampshire tracking station has acquired the telemetry signal. Five minutes and 30 seconds into flight today, everything is still proceeding nominal.
And Courtney, right now on the second stage, it's such a large amount of propellant. It takes a while for second stage to really accelerate. The crew right now
Dragon
looks like they're
SpaceX,
pulling about.
trajectory nominal.
Looks like we're pulling about 1.5 Gs.
Yeah, right on cue, those check-ins on the second stage performance. Everything is still looking good on that second stage. The next milestone on the second stage will be SECO. And we're getting our views now from inside of Endurance, our first views of the crew on their way to the International Space Station.
We're 1 minute away from entry burn of the first stage. Hopefully we'll get a camera view back on the first stage as we light the 3 engines to come back into the Earth's atmosphere.
Dragon SpaceX, trajectory nominal.
Endurance copies.
Another good check-in with the crew, confirming everything is still looking good so far on both ends. That next milestone coming at 7 minutes and 30 seconds will be entry burn start.
Currently waiting for the call out from the SpaceX propulsion responsible engineer that the 3 Merlin 1D engines have lit to begin slowing down the first stage prior to entering the Earth's
Stage
atmosphere.
2 FTS is safe. Stage 1 entry burn is in startup.
We've heard stage 1 entry burn is startup. We've lit the center engine. We've got the 2 side engines, 3 engines running. This is a 27-second burn. This will slow the first stage down. We'll then enter the atmosphere where the grid fins begin to work, and then we will fire the single center engine as we approach the drone ship.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
Confirmation entry burn shutdown.
And meanwhile, that second stage is less than a minute away from cutoff.
Stage 2 and terminal guidance.
Shannon.
Copy, Shannon.
There's that call for Shannon.
Stage 1 is transonic.
Stage 1 decelerating as we prepare for entry burn. But our attention is right now looking at stage 2 as we get ready for shutdown.
Stage 1 landing burn.
Dragon SpaceX, nominal orbit insertion.
And the second stage has done its job. Our Crew 3 astronauts have been delivered into orbit.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy.
Landing leg deploy.
Endurance copies. We feel Pico and SILE confirms we are in space.
Dragon SpaceX, launch escape system is disarmed.
Stage 1 landing is confirmed.
And we've heard the call out. Stage 1 landing is confirmed.
Loss of signal Cape and acquisition of signal Newfoundland.
Some great call outs. That next milestone is spacecraft separation around 12 minutes into flight. Getting a view now of the Crew 3 astronauts from a camera aboard Dragon. The crew now coasting in low Earth orbit, still attached to that second stage. Again, that next milestone coming in about 2 minutes. That second stage will separate, and Crew Dragon will be flying free.
And Courtney, right now, the Falcon 9 second stage is still attached to the Dragon capsule. When it's time, Dragon will command separation from the Falcon 9 second stage. Right now, that second stage, under control of its flight computer, is essentially going through a sequence to idle the second stage, make sure we're not pulsing any of the cold gas thrusters, the engine has been purged out. Essentially, anything that might cause motion of the second stage, we're making sure that all of that is eliminated so that when Dragon separates, it's got a very stable platform to move away from. The cheering in the background, they're getting video back of Falcon 9 first stage on drone ship as we get ready for Dragon separation.
That's right, John. Separation coming just 10 seconds from now. Standing by for that call.
Expected loss of signal, Wallops.
And again, we are standing by. There we go.
Dragon separation confirmed.
Endurance copies.
Dragon, CE, welcome to orbit. Hope you enjoyed the ride from F9. Dragon will take you from here. Safe travels. Stand by for words from LD. And Endurance, LD here. On behalf of the SpaceX launch and recovery teams, it was a pleasure to be part of this mission with you. Enjoy your holidays amongst the stars. We'll be waving as you fly by. Cheers.
Wow. Incredible views of the crew now in orbit on their way to the International Space Station.
It was a great ride, better than we imagined.
And some final words from the crew as well. There they are, our Crew 3 astronauts. Now in orbit. That next milestone will be the deployment of the nose cone. That'll be about a 5-minute process. It'll expose those forward bulkhead Dracos and will prepare them for checkouts as well.
Yeah, Courtney, watching them in zero-G right now, working their displays, it looks so easy, but we had the benefit of watching the launch team, the spacecraft team, the NASA team, everybody working here for the last weeks, working through this, and it's good to see it come out looking just so easy right now.
Yep, it's been a long time coming, and we're so excited to see them in orbit.
Just real quick here at the end. A lot of people really don't understand how big of a deal this is for Florida. This is going to put us on the map, on the world map, on the world stage by ourselves, regardless of any politics coming out of Washington, D.C. Our ability to get people to space, just our state and private industry working together, absent Washington, D.C., absent the federal government, that's huge. We're the only state that can do this. And the world is seeing this, and that we're so distinct in the way that we govern versus the way that everywhere else governs. The separation amongst so many other things lines up with history. When nations have separated themselves historically, it largely began long before the official date of separation, so to speak. And I didn't have as many flat earth trolls as I thought I was going to get, but because it's funny because a lot of people in my chat are literally sitting outside watching this, and I could see it out the window while all this was going on. So this whole idea about sound stages in Hollywood and all this ridiculousness. I mean, there's literally, no lie, probably millions of people right here in Florida that can watch out their window and watch the entire thing happen. Now they're back at, this is just them doing commentary at T plus 16 minutes. And all the different things they have, different tidbits of information they talk about. Nobody is going to remember the name Joe Biden. See, after Carter left office and Reagan took over, it was only a matter of a couple of years before he was just relegated to the dustbin of history. So, wait, did we get a flat earth troll? Hold on. Doesn't mean anything. Millions of people witnessing it. You hear this, guys? Millions of people witnessing it with their own eyes doesn't mean anything. How do you know anybody is inside, buddy? You'll believe anything. Yeah, okay, you know what? You see, I watched the whole thing of them loading. People know these people. This is funny. Morales J617 lives in his grandmother's basement and stares at a computer. And, in the chat at 2119. It's just really funny that people who don't live here, who don't witness launch after launch after launch after launch. It's really funny. It's a great place to play whack-a-more on with trolls. I don't normally get a chance to, at least not in public, but it is so much fun because they're so adorable. They really are, the flat earthers at this point. So anyway, and yeah, Truth Seekers up in Jacksonville, and Jacksonville's a solid, what would you say, 100 miles away? 100 miles away and still saw it. So, it's an incredible sight to see. It really is. If you didn't know what it was, you'd think, oh my gosh, aliens are coming. But the key to this is that it's private industry and a state. It's private industry and what is now historically recorded as a state. But in the future, in the next 50 to 75 years, they're going to say, this was the moment. This was the moment that Florida separated itself. This was the moment that even though they were still attached to the mainland, They became their own republic. They became their own culture. And it's becoming more and more and more distinct. Somebody had made a comment about the Kyle Rittenhouse thing. And I'd said, watching the northern cities burn way off on the horizon at night, once the BLMers start torching, everything north of the Mason-Dixon, that's going to be a sight to see. But they're not going to muck around down here. They know better. So yeah, it's the world that's coming. That's my only regret. It's my only regret for being 52 years old. Is that, even if I take care of myself to the very best of my ability, how does I might live another 50 years, and I think the best part's coming 75 to 100 from now. How does a private company get permission to launch things into space? Well, it's funny. They, they work with the state of Florida. They work with the Cape. It's how the specifics, I'll be very honest, I'm not going to speak about it because I don't exactly know, but SpaceX has been doing this for a while now. Okay, so there you go. Jacksonville's 108 miles from Astor, 32102, about 30 miles west of Daytona. So, yeah, ballpark, 100 miles or so. So, oh yeah, Mystic, I'm 52. Pardon me. I'll be 52 in about 4 months. So... Punta Gorda. Now, Punta Gorda, first of all, Punta Gorda is beautiful. Punta Gorda is probably one of the most beautiful areas of Florida. Ain't cheap down there, by the way, but it's way over on the other side. That's down over on the southwestern tip of Florida, but super gorgeous. So, you see, that's the problem. Shauna D., that can't actually happen. DeSantis 2024 can't happen because he's running for governor. He's going to be governor of Florida next year. He's going to be reelected next year in 2022, and he's going to serve till 2025. So there's literally no chance. There's zero chance of that. So thank you, Andrew Patrizio. Very much appreciate that. But this is just one of those other blessings of being in Florida. So, oh wait. Oh my goodness, are we talking about med beds again? It's another one of those conspiracy theories. It is, it's so much going on. And the one really thing, and it's geographic, it's not really so much social or cultural. It's where we are in relation to the equator. And plus the facilities. That's really, let me pull off this weather layer. There we go. It's where we are. It is the closest place to launch for commercial satellites. It's the most efficient place to launch here. And believe it or not, that placed Alcantara in Brazil. Who remembers when we started the Pentagon investigations? Alcantara military base. There's Belém. See if I can remember where the fuck this is. Pardon my French. But in this general region right here is Alcantara. And the Brazilians have an incredible launch facility too. So between here and the Cape, it's just ideal. Absolutely ideal for this particular thing. And oh, thank you for the line. Oh, good news. The new guitar arrived. My Ring camera battery on the front door had died because we had so many days of overcast because it's solar charged. And so the Ring camera didn't go off, and so I went out there and was looking, and something was leaning against the door, and there it was. The 8-string guitar that I had ordered has arrived. And so I got it out of the box and got the strings all tuned up. And so now that I have that set up and I got a professional mic, a vocal mic, a singing mic, it's a Shure SM7B. Those of you who know about music will know about that one. HURE SM7B. Mic to record with. So now that I have all the guitars set up, I've got the amp set up, and I have the backup computer out there for doing the mixing. Yeah, it's an incredible sound. It really is, Joe Shields, from Boston. It's such an interesting mix because, the 12 strings, of course, have the shimmer. The 6 strings, have that nice clean sound. But man, when you get that mix with the 2 middle strings having the harmonics, there are things that you can do and sounds that you can create that are just incredible. So I am going to probably start with Christmas music just because to get back into it, it's, just the hand memory, and being able to sing and do all this kind of stuff. But with the new microphone and the recording with the computer and the digitizing and all that, I'm still kind of coming up to speed myself on how to do this. So it was just so much easier. All the music that you guys have seen so far was real simple. I just literally took an old smartphone, propped it up on the entertainment center, aimed it at the couch, and it had a 10-second countdown timer that I would hit, go over there, pick up the guitar, sing, and then get up and go shut the thing off. That's literally all I knew about what I needed to do. Professional microphones and how to split tracks and all this kind of stuff. I don't have any clue. I don't have any idea about how any of that works. I'm trying to teach myself how to do it with some programs online that they say are easy. Well, they're easy for somebody who's studied it and understands how all that works. But anyway, to make it sound like what people are used to hearing on YouTube, the good stuff, people don't realize what goes into all of those videos. Where you see somebody, where you see the nice pictures and the great transitions, all that kind of stuff. It takes... Takaminis are good guitars. It's I don't need any more quote-unquote help from YouTube, Timothy. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but it's if you're talking about the people on YouTube trying to walk you through it, people on YouTube have tried to walk me through the whole screen recording software, and it's still gobbledygook to me. So it's just not. It's more frustrating when you're dealing with that. When you're trying to do music, when you get frustrated, you put it down and you walk away, and you don't want to go back. And that's what I want to avoid with the music. I want it to be easy enough that I can go over there when I have the inspiration to go to there, sit down, press whatever buttons I need to press and have it come out like I want it to come out. If it's going to be some giant pain in the ass or close this, open this, redo this, and then shift this, that kills musical motivation. So I think that's why you have musicians and you have engineers, and that's why they are separate and usually always are. So those guys that can go out there and do both, it's few and far between. And those guys that can do that, they have the millions and millions and millions of views. So, yeah, you see, that's the thing, Mystic. But to record it is a different thing than just... It's not like you just flip a switch and record, and then you just sing, and then you flip the switch off, and then magically it's there in a nice, pretty file that, you can then export to YouTube, or you can add pictures to. You have to have 2 different programs. You have to have one program to record the track, to record the music. And the one that I'm using now is... there was Ocean Audio, and then there was another one. And I can't remember the name of it. And then once you have the vocal track done, then to create a video of it and upload it, then you've got to take that file, and then you've got to upload that to Lightworks. And then you upload it to Lightworks, and then you've got to pick out all of your images, from all over the place to go with the song. And then you have to line up the song with the images. Then once you have all that put together, and it sounds okay, then you've got to export it. And then you've got to, there's just a lot to it. There's just really a lot to it. So, and Ex-wife, no. And, it's the music. Believe me, guys, that part of my life is over. I am a terminal bachelor, and I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house that's pretty much a bachelorville. The biggest room is a weight room. The big great room is just nothing but all my weight equipment and workout equipment. I got another room that's I got a spare. And then what you would call the living room is pretty much a music studio now. And in the master bedroom, I have my entire recording and computer set up for recording videos for here, along with the bed. And then, of course, I've got my streaming set up with the PlayStation 4. So believe me, I would not wish me on any woman in the world. I am a terminal bachelor, period. So, anyway, but I will leave that there. Total distraction. But the guitar arrived, so there will be music at some point. So, God bless. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. I know it's kind of late. We're going to be on Twitch here in about 30, 45 minutes. I've got a few things to take care of real quick. But if you want to join us over at Twitch, just like it sounds, twitch.tv/Florida Maquis. We will be live streaming the very end of Assassin's Creed Black Flag. It was the 4th iteration of that game. It's a Caribbean game, so we've been playing it for the last few months. Got an Alvarez Laurentian. I got an Alvarez 8-string. It's kind of a new thing. It's where the 2 middle strings have the harmonics like the 12, but the E and A and B and E are just the singles. D and G have harmonics with it, the little harmonic string. And man, I tell you what, it's an awesome guitar. I have the Alvarez 8-string. I have an Alvarez baritone. I have a Martin Koa GPC AP K5. And I have a Honer that I have dropped into DADGAD. I use it for drop D tunings and the DADGAD tunings. Those of you who know guitar know what DAD, GAD is. So anyway, I will leave it there. But those are the big 4. So God bless. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. Awesome launch. This kind of stuff is just so exciting. Absolutely love the future of where Florida's going right now, because it's going to give us the ability to operate independently, and that is the key. So take care. Thanks again. God bless. And we will see you in about 45 minutes on Twitch.